just because you are blind and unable to see my beauty doesn't mean it does not exist. Margaret Cho. The power of visibility can never be underestimated. To start telling people that you're beautiful, or just feel beautiful, just start acting like you are the most beautiful woman in the world, and it really improves everything, because your sort of psyche responds to it like this is truthful. Sometimes, when we are generous in small, barely detectable ways, it can change someone else's life forever. Ugly is irrelevant. It is an immeasurable insult to a woman, and then supposedly the worst crime you can commit as a woman. But ugly as beautiful is an illusion. Maybe I wanted to hear it so badly that my ears betrayed my mind in order to secure match part. Sometimes the only way to deal with horrific things in life is through a dark sense of humor. I don't have children, and I am not sure if I have wanted them or never wanted them. It's weird not to be able to decide. I think self-deprecation is such a disease, and I want to cure everybody of it, and so that's my contribution. Snooki is really beautiful and looks quite like Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra. She has the same bone structure. I'm kind of obsessed with Jersey Shore. People don't give them enough credit for how entertaining they are. I think that all bodies are beautiful in millions of different ways, but I get down on myself too. If we have the opportunity to be generous with our hearts, ourselves, we have no idea of the depth and breadth of love's reach. It's important to feel beautiful. It's political to feel beautiful. I will never stop complaining. Comedy was the key to everything. I grew up fast and controlled my future by bringing it on faster than it naturally unfolded. I cheated myself out of a childhood, but then got a running head start into adulthood that no one else could keep up with. Try to love someone who you want to hate because they are just like you somewhere inside, in a way you may never expect, in a way that resounds so deeply within you that you cannot believe it. It is tragic that people who are incarcerated are unable to vote. They are probably the most important voices to listen to, because they can tell us what we need to change. Being called ugly and fat and disgusting to look at from the time I could barely understand what the words meant has scarred me so deep inside that I have learned to hunt, stalk, claim, own and defend Madge, all loveliness. Love is the big, booming beat which covers up the noise of hate. The incognito of lower class employment is an effective cloak for any dagger one might wish to hide. My boyfriend and I live together, which means we don't have sex ever. Now that the milk is free, we've both become lactose intolerant. Margaret Cho. To me, marriage is really important, and what we build families on. That's why gay marriage is really important. Margaret Cho. My former bullies pay extra to come backstage and meet me after shows, and I pretend not to know them in front of their friends. It is the most divine pleasure to exact the revenge of the brutalized child that resides within. I thought I was so ugly for so long, and I wasted so much of my life on this dumb notion. Tattooing is my social life, too, so most of my time is taken up with that. People like Henry Lewis, Mike Davis, and Everlasting Tattoo. I have learned to love that which is meant to harm me, so that I can stand in the way of those who are less strong. I can take the bullets for those who aren't able to. Try to put your happiness before anyone else's, because you may never have done so in your entire life. If you really think about it, if you are really honest with yourself, people drain me, even the closest of friends, and I find loneliness to be the best state in the union to live in. Privacy and security are those things you give up when you show the world what makes you extraordinary. Politics has less to do with where you live than where your heart is. Thankfully, beauty is easier to remove than apply, and a swipe of demaquillage in the right direction and you are you once again. Some people are that more than a parent, more than a role model, more than anything less than a religion. If you say you're not a feminist, you're almost denying your own existence. To be a feminist is to be alive. Why can't all different types of women be considered beautiful? Why can't we all be considered possible love interests? When you feel powerful, you are willing to stand up for your rights. You are willing to stand up for what you believe in. You're more willing to stand up and be counted. I can never tell when something is funny. I just have to do it on stage and find out. I get up around 7 a.m. That's very early for a stand-up comic. Then I'll have breakfast with my husband, the artist. I'll read an or take Madge 3 dogs for a walk, and commence with my work. I can't drag myself away from Final Cut Pro. It is a digital video editing system. I am obsessed with it, but I am always away from home, and I can use it. I am into belly dancing. I used to only hang with comics. Now I have friends who are dancers, and my whole house has a harem feel. It's very hard for a woman in comedy. It's hard for women to be bold and not care what anyone, particularly men, think. Maybe that is why so many women comics are lesbians. Comedy was all I ever wanted. People are really terrified of me. I don't know why. I'm very nice, but people are very intimidated by me. Margaret Cho